Hi, Diddly Ho Internet. We are back. We are back. Let's finish this. Been nursing this thing. It is the strawberry whale cake. Chocolate strawberry whale cake. So strawberry whale cake, I don't think I got into it. Chocolate strawberry whale cake is their limited time kind of a thing, or at least I'm led to believe it's a limited time, but they kind of mix their stuff up throughout the year anyway, so stuff kind of comes and goes. But then the chocolate strawberry whale cake is one they've done before, so stout with strawberries and chocolate, as opposed to a stout with strawberries. Let's see if it's changed at all. As it warms up, especially a beer like this, like a really good craft beer, is going to get a little more dynamic as it warms up a little. Yeah, picking up a little more of those strawberries for sure now. So, anywho. Yep. Oliver.
Is rest time over yet?
It's not. Rest time is not over. It is 2:44. Yeah. So it's only been 15 minutes. We got to do that time that just passed 3 more times.
3 more times?
Yes, 3 more times. Count to 3 for me.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so that's how many more times that time that just went by has to go by. Go back in your room right now. Stepping on the Star Drake. You guys know what a Star Drake is? It is the big bad dragon for the Stormcast Eternals and Age of Sigmar. Excuse me. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the Relic from Compoform. So this has been a long time coming. Internet. I kind of wanted this guy for a while, and for some reason saw a few pop up here and there and just kind of wasn't quite in the position to pull the trigger on it. Was just like, I spent too much money on spinners right now. I'm not sure. It's a Compoform, which I love, but I'm not sure about the smaller buttons. So just every time it came up, there was something where I was kind of like, and I kind of passed on it. And I shouldn't have. And then, it's funny, this thing came up, and then... Sorry, I'm listening to what Oliver's saying. I thought he was talking to somebody that was actually there. So, so this popped up on the secondary, and I think it was Bobby who gave me tagged me in it like a minute after it came up. So I don't know what he was doing or just looking for it. And then I PM'd the guy immediately. And then it's funny, the thread just blew up with he was selling this, he was selling the a Hydra, and then he was selling a something with a G, I want to say, it's their kind of really fancy, Hydra style spinner. Which they've only made a couple, and I'm pretty sure they auctioned them off at they went for $400 or $500, so they're pretty pricey. And that it's just hard for me to keep pulling the trigger on that as much as I kind of want to collect the whole Compoform set. That's just a lot of money to spend on a spinner just to have. You guys know kind of my opinions, my Zero Feud Compass, great spinner. I don't spin it that much, and my collection isn't about having spinners just to have them. It's about having spinners that I enjoy spinning. So the Compoforms, even though, I kind of did... I did spend on something that is really just kind of, there was just something about this I just remember seeing. It was like, yes, I didn't know I was going to have one eventually, but kind of felt like I needed to have one. So I got one. So anyway, but let's talk about this a little bit. So it is a fantastic little spinner and does everything you would expect from a Hydra in bar form. So it's got significantly wider arms than the... What happened there? You know what happened? This thing fell on my tumbler, and then I polished the arms with the Flitz metal polish. So not mirror polish, not a mirror polish, but a polish. There is a difference. The terms are not used interchangeably. Some people seem to think that that's the case, but just so you know. But yeah, so I kind of wanted to show this off. So because I literally just did this today, and I haven't posted this anywhere, so maybe I just won't post pictures of this and you just see it when the video comes out. But anyway, let's just look at the beauty of this for a minute, and then we'll get back to the Relic. Now, I did not Flitz metal polish the buttons, but I did tumble the buttons. Oh, there's a little bit of Flitz metal polish left in there. Can we get that out? We won't worry about getting it all out right now. But yeah, so you can see some of the things that are kind of hidden when it is kind of fully blackened. That you just can't really see, right? You see some of the machining lines in there. That's kind of neat. And the stuff going on in it. Now, this one in particular looks like it's pretty big, but I can't feel it. Even with my nail, can't feel it. But it just shines up really nice, and I thought it would. I think I mentioned doing this in a post a couple weeks back, and I think some people were like, do it, and other people were like, no, don't do it. But I've got a track record of being right most of the time, internet, when it comes to customizing and doing things. So not all the time, right? Sometimes I miss a little bit, although I still think this looks pretty cool. Oh, man, it feels good. But I got a pretty good track record, so I trust my instincts when it comes to this sort of stuff, internet. So hide your buttons, y'all. Oh, let's take the buttons off. So anyway, Relic. So if we look at the arms, let's look at the profile here of the arms. Right, it's a little smaller up and down wise, but you can see the same sort of like triangle action going on, really thin arms. If we look at the top, right, we can still see the same kind of curve. And then just kind of balancing the weight of the arms. It is very stubby-like, I think, early on. So this came out a while ago. This has been out a while. It's been out of production for a while. They don't make a lot of these. They don't pop up that often, which is why it's kind of a big thing. When you see it, you got to jump on it, because as soon as someone does, there's a lot of people that are looking for these. Enough where I don't think there's enough market right now, you know, for them to start making this again. I don't know what's involved in switching up and doing what they do, but, you know, just making these as one-offs, I'm not sure if that really works for them. Let's weigh it real quick. 72 grams. Let's weigh it without the buttons real quick. Let's do some weighing here, because the buttons on the 52, 70, 32, 20. So there isn't really kind of a lot of. Oh, look at that. Nice little 8-ball in there. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's enough for them to kind of interest for them to like try to do like another run of these. But at the same time, there is a lot of people that have been trying to get these. Like you see these pop up and people try to get them, and with good reason they should. So if you've been thinking about getting it, definitely really try to get on it. Oh, I forgot I was going to switch the buttons. Hide your buttons and everything, y'all. We're going to switch these up real quick. Ooh, oh boy. Uh-oh. I haven't done this yet. You're seeing this for the first time, internet. You know what I did not do, and I'm sorry, and I don't know if I'm going to get the chance to do it before I upload this. I didn't do spin times. I'm not too worried about spin times on this. I would expect somewhere in the 6-7 minutes. The weight is distributed in such a way to be pretty good for that sort of thing, but the bearing needs definitely to be cleaned, and I just didn't do that. So, but I haven't been really worried about spin time on it. Look at that. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Almost kind of reminds me of a TIE fighter a little bit. Actually, they kind of do more of like a screaming sound. Like, I can't really do that sound with my mouth. I can't do that with my mouth. That's what she said. All right. Will this table spin with these on? I don't think it will. It? Are these tall enough to table spin? Yep. So let's keep getting in there. We've been tangenting quite a bit. Let's have a sip of beer. Lovely wooden stand as well. Now this is a little smaller than a, than a Hydra. So I think he actually, Eugene was asking me how I liked it, and I think he called it the mini Relic. So I don't think they made a bigger one. It is a little smaller. How's the balance on this? Now the bearing's a little dirty, so it's kind of stopping it from spinning freely, but let's go like this. Yeah, not feeling much wobble, just my hand shaking a little. Ollie, I'm doing a video. I'm talking to the internet. That's why I asked you if you wanted to say hi before. Lovely little wooden stand, right, that we've come to love from Compoform. So continuing on with this, what I really love about this guy is kind of everything, but it's got that wonderful profile again where it looks like it's floating, right? There's so little on the inside that when it's spinning really fast with how much there is on the outside, it really just makes it look like it's kind of like a floating ring. It's got a great spin profile. Just a great spinner. Is what over yet? No, bud, the minutes are not over. It's still a ways to go. Oh, See my little cut here from when a wheelbarrow fell on me over the summer? What? Well, it's going to be more minutes if you don't go back to your room, bud. So let's go back to our room. It's tough being a dad because I want to be his friend and hang out with him, but it's rest time. He needs to relax, take a nap. So, it's very distracting when you're trying to do a video, but I think, like I said, we don't do cuts and edits around here, so a lot of other people would edit that out, but he's a cute guy, kind of, so I don't mind leaving it in there. So throwing this guy, again, preloaded flick style, this is good to go. It pushes pretty well. This pushes, let's put these buttons back on there. The Hydra push is amazing. Actually, I want to switch it real quick. So this, I think this, I forget if it just came with this ring in it or not, but I like the look of this, although now that I've polished it. But the guy that sent me the relics, it came with a C-ring, or a C-clamp. Oh my goodness, what is he doing? But the relic doesn't take that. Relic's like press fit. Why isn't that going in all the way? Oh, because it's not a good enough clamp. So that would be why. So we'll just take that right back out. I don't know what that's going to go to. But you can see the bottom of this clip is like sanded off where this one, so the buttons were bumping into it. So we'll just put this right back in there and we'll get on with our lives and we'll forget we ever did that. Yeah, I feel like this review has gone off the rails, internet. Probably not my best work, but it is a great spinner. So let's get back into that. So with this one, the way this is, the way these arms taper out, I can really flick with this was the point I was trying to make. With this one, I found that the flicking, at least with this finger, doesn't really work. With the smaller buttons and the way the arms go out, I don't really want to flick off of it out here, and my arm finger wants to catch it in there, but there just isn't quite enough room the way my fingers come in like that. But coming in like this, it's not too bad. But it doesn't actually flick out all that well. That's not really a huge issue. Pulling it out like this actually works really well because you've got such a long, wide arm that you can really just pull off of. Let me try and recenter myself. That you can just pull off of. That works really well. But flicking this guy doesn't really work all that well. But it just sings when you preload it. It just sings. Just listen to her. Just singing. Just fantastic. Now, it doesn't have quite the same level of juxtaposition that I found with this. Again, being that it's a bar, it's got a little bit more of that character. The bearing in here needs a clean, so actually, let's do this. Let's do this, internet. Oh, it's the glued one. Never mind. I was going to say, we'll just pop it out. Yeah, we're not going to do that. This bearing really does need a clean to be fair with it. It was better when I first had it, but I've been jamming on a little bit and it's gone in my pocket a couple times. So it doesn't have quite the amount of juxtaposition. Now, it spins a lot. Like it looks like, again, this would look kind of like a big, weighty, rattly spinner, but it spins so smooth and so crazy. This has a bit of character to it. So it's not that same level of juxtaposition, but it's still a very interesting spinner. Still fantastic. The way the weight is distributed, it really feels fast. It's fun to throw, like this kind of a throw, right? It just spins really, really nicely. And it looks good, and like fitting it in here, right? Especially like the little wooden stands are slightly different sizes. So I wish I had my Geica, but putting the Geica on the top, it's just fun. So really enjoying the work that the Compoform guys are doing. Now, I should say, I don't know if I have much else to say. I don't really have too much negative to say about this guy. I think from like a pure spinner perspective, I think over time, again, I haven't had this long, but I think this, I would prefer more to this. But I think overall, it's like the idea of a spinner and the concept, this has more going on and it's a little better executed, just in the sense, again, it's the juxtaposition, right? It's all the different things that this guy offers. It's how it spins versus how it looks and all that sort of business, where this is a little more straightforward and doesn't, I think, have as much subtlety and as much levels. But at the end of the day, if I were to just like take the spinner, close my eyes and spin them, I would enjoy spinning this more, I think, at the end of the day. because it's a bar, because it's got that going on. Just a beautiful looking spinner. So I don't know what I want to do with this guy. Now, when I got it, the corners are starting to lighten up a little bit, but it kind of looks still pretty dark. I don't know if it's more of like a reddish bronze that's in there and if it's going to start lighting up, or if I want to try and polish the corners just a little bit to bring it out, because now that I've had this and feeling this, I really like how this feels, and I've kind of almost want to do that to this. But the biggest reason I did what I did to this one is because I also had this one that I could kind of just leave as is. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I decide to do. I might try to brighten this up a little bit. But really fantastic spinner. So what I was gonna say though is you need to get yourselves over to Compoform's page right now. They've got something called, I should have looked it up beforehand. Maybe I'll remember to look it up before I post this video, and I'll put it down below right here. Well, I guess it would be about 5 seconds that I would do that, so I would have it somewhere down below in here. It is the Hypnotic or something like that, but it's this really cool looking, it's almost like a cog spinner with a pattern cut out in the middle and then a big button with cutouts on it. So it actually looks like it would be a cog spinner with 2 giant buttons. So they would need to go either on a flat spinner, or if the button stems are long enough with a couple spacers, maybe be able to work on other spinners. But it just looks really cool. So I did just pre-order that. I think you got to get that. I think it's just too cool. Like, especially as like a desk toy, like just doing a little spin and then watching the little patterns do what they do. Just looks like it's going to be really cool. So it almost looks like it does kind of like a warp effect, but in person. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Woo! All right, internet. We're just getting loopy now. So I'm going to have another sip of beer. I'm going to spin this. I'm going to give you kisses. And I'm going to give you a 2 thumbs recommend. Keep your eye out in the secondary market and jump on it if you can. So, kisses.